All right. Welcome back to those who like to watch these little story videos on Duel Masters. I have not recorded. Actually, that's kind of a lie. I've recorded tons of stuff. I just haven't really done anything about it. Like, I'll record a video and just not post anything. I've been kind of lazy on that front, but when it comes to the stories modes on this game, I do like posting these. Let's see. Last time I saw that there was an SP deck challenge too. I didn't think it was worth going into. I have no idea even what's inside or what the reward is because I didn't even complete this one. It's just a lot of using the same thing. I don't know. But the next one we have... Oh, here we are. Legend of the Star Heroes. Oh, they're continuing it on. Awesome. Okay. Power... About time. Freaking love Crusadia. Crusadia is one of those decks that I like to recommend to a lot of people who start off and want to have at least a decent amount of time. Crusadia Kaiju, Mekk-knights, like it's a simple game plan. Remove your opponent's side of the field and build up your own guys by pointing at them. Man, it's just scenario all the way down. That's awesome. The secrets of power. Yeah, the secret power of the planet. I'm so off right now. A few years had passed since the nightmare of a tragedy. When Arum awoke, he found that the girl and her brother were no longer with him. I'm surprised he didn't have a card of him just being alone. Was Ib really gone now, for good? The loss of the girl had its grip over Arum's heart, like an unbreakable vice. I couldn't protect Ib. If only I were stronger, then her death could have been avoided. I don't know about that. The battle had left the chasm in Arum's heart. Now that Ib was gone, Arum had tasted for the first time just how terrifying a battle could be and how devastating losing someone you treasured could be. He didn't have the heart to go on with his journey. Not for now. However, there was still one thing on his mind that bothered him. It was Ningirsu. Even now, Arum still had no idea where he had gone. No doubt despair had taken him, now that his beloved sister was no more, and when Arum thought about how Ningirsu must be feeling right now, his heart became fraught with an immovable weight. But that was exactly why Arum had to go after his childhood friend, and so the swordsman resumed his journey with Imduk. It was when panic was beginning to settle in Arum's mind. Was it coincidence, or did the Mekk-knight that dwelled within him lead him to it? He stumbled across a dormant crawler. It occurred to Arum that this might lead to a clue. He could try and restore it and see if its communication still worked. It's cool that he can now look at the crawlers and think of them as they were protecting us. Kind of. By making sure that Lee was trapped. So I like that he's trying to repair. I feel like I wasted material on that, but then again, I made the deck earlier, so I guess that doesn't matter. Oh wait, are these sleeves? Ooh, fancy. Arum succeeded in restoring the crawler and gained access to its communication system, along with a number of records. The detailed areas in which the swarms were active and data on the locations where many crawlers had been destroyed. Perhaps there was still some life left in those areas, and if there was, maybe they would know where Ningirsu had gone. Armed with his new clue, Arms set off to the areas he had gleaned from the records. However, as useful as the information was, it unfortunately didn't make Arm's expedition any easier. There was nary a sign of life to be spotted anywhere, and the journey was looking like it could end in vain. Nature, uncaring and unrelenting, continued to batter the two mercilessly. But at last, a glimmer of hope at the end of the arduous tunnel, Arum and Imduk had stumbled across the remaining tribes of the planet. I forgot, like a whole bunch of people were just kind of gone because of the crawlers and the world legacies. That the fiery recluses, the stalwart beasts, and the sacred lakeside trees. Oh, okay, so these were all different tribes? Interesting. Although this encounter brought no clues as to Ningirsu's whereabouts, Arm and Induk were blessed with the legends and knowledge of the tribes. And by linking them together, Arm was able to unlock a great secret power of the world and witnessed the tremendous power that slumbered in its depth. It made him think of the world chalice powers that were bestowed to him. But this was greater. But this was greater, far greater, hiding unbeknownst to the dweller of the planet. Was this what Lee had sought? Arm thought. I don't know what Lee was after. I know she was trying to just destroy everything, but like, it didn't seem like she had a full-on motive to go along with it. What were the more secrets dwelled beneath the surface? That's a weird sentence. No, that's a stupid sentence. One of them was the rebirth records, inscribed with the history of the planet, chronicles from generations long forgotten, and the other, begone memories of the planet's glorious age where humans ruled from the apex. Long, long ago, there was a god who ruled the skies. With Dragonkin as its disciples, it's perpetuated the cycles of destruction and rebirth to maintain the balance of the realms. However, the scale of the destruction grew bigger each time, and one day the balance of the two was thrown into great disarray. Once this delicate balance toppled, even the sacred skies could not hold back the destruction it wrought. The god decided that it could no longer oversee the skies by itself. With its power of creation, it brought forth layers and layers of the toughest earth and sealed the powers of destruction within. With nowhere to go, the power raged and raged until it boiled and scorched the very earth, morphing it. The torrent of power rushed through the land and merged with the powers of creation, leaking out onto the surface. It became a small manifestation of the cycle of death and rebirth and gave life to the lands. With the last of its strength, the god then turned itself into a key and entrusted it to the life blooming on the planet before vanishing. Man, they're putting a lot of like more than any of the other stories, like just a lot of detail in the background, like the key coming in, the stars shaping and forming the dragon. Like this is more detail than they put in the other stories. I like it. In the years following its disappearance, the powers of destruction reemerged on the surface many times. However, every time it did, the life of the planet would use the key, and with the help of the Dragonkin, push it back to whence it came. Over time, the key became to be known as Word, and the power of destruction as Great Darkness. Thus, the great legend of the world hero was born. It was just known as Word? Word of Great Darkness? I don't know. The Key of the Darkness? Starlit hero, the sword sway in light. May you triumph over the great darkness. I don't see anything about word. Hell, I didn't even see anything about world. Ooh, here we go, here we go. Decades, centuries, maybe even millennia passed since the beginning of the rebirth records. The land was now populated with life known as humanity. They were a civilization who had gained scientific knowledge and technological know-how, and were at the height of their prosperity. Their glories came at a cost, for it is not only tore the planet's gift away from it, but also the dragons who protected it. So they just kind of ran their dragonkin gods away. That's sad. The god and the dragons that once were had faded into obscurity as mere tales. And it was during this time that the key was excavated and uncovered. The humans were exhilarated by such a legendary and mystical find. Although its authenticity became gradually acknowledged, some expressed worries and doubts at the discovery. What did it mean for the key to have resurfaced in this time? Was this an omen, warning them of inevitable battle between the world hero and the great darkness? See, it says world now before it said word. Somebody missed a typo or something, like the legend says. Now that they could see that the key existed in its sword form, did this not also mean that the powers of the destruction were indeed sealed deep within the planet's crust? Humanity began to assemble their finest to analyze the key. Within the team that had formed, there was a scientist who had shown her talent in all fields of medicine, astronomy, and archaeology. Damn, this chick knows everything. Is it that little one in the middle? Her name was Lee. Ah, damn it. I forgot what the card looked like. That's sick. Okay, Lee was known all over the world as the foremost authority on computer science. So they basically are doing a recap, or not a recap, an epilogue right now of how Lee became a fairy. The analysis was able to proceed smoothly thanks to her involvement, and not long after, the team branded itself as an organization called Crusadia under the jurisdiction of the Confederation of Nations. So does that mean Lee was a Crusadia as well? That's interesting. Once they had analyzed the key further, they began to draft a plan that would help fight the imminent threats to their planet. It would involve warriors of mechanical nature, and they called it Project Mekk-knight. Work was to proceed within a moment's delay. Meanwhile, Lee drew up a hypothesis and sought to validate it in secret. Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, if the human forms, or if the future forms basically evil, it might as well have been because she was evil from the beginning. Or, I'm not sure if it would be considered evil, more of just scientific curiosity, because sometimes scientists do stupid things, and this is probably what leads to the destruction of the world. She wanted to get to the root of the appearance of the Great Darkness that world hero legends spoke of. Records in the legend were multiple tales of the key being used to drive back the Great Darkness by harnessing the power of creation and destruction. It was a simple enough story. It was a simple enough story. God damn. The Great Darkness would appear and the world hero would fight it back with the key. However, could the reverse also not be true? That using the key was the very thing that drew the Great Darkness out? There were those who were entrusted with the divine mission and the conspirators who sought to revive the powers of destruction. The world hero legend was ultimately a story of their power struggle over the key. Whoever has the key will control the fate of the world. Or so went Lee's hypothesis. Anyway, Oh, I don't know why I read it that way. It's so weird. Or so went Lee's hypothesis anyway. And the more time she spent trying to validate it, the darker her ambitions grew. The divine powers will be mine. No, okay, so it wasn't even scientific curiosity. She just is kind of vindictive. How many is there? Holy hell. What is that? Oh, that's the piano. World Legacy Ruins? That's kind of cool. It looks like the lava thing, though. Okay. World Legacy Ruins. Okay, cool. Cool, 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 cool. All right, let's finish this story out once I click on the right one. Gosh, darn. Oh, wow. Actually, there's 2 more scenarios afterwards. That's kind of cool. A few years have now passed since Project Mekk-knight began. Oh, this is Starlight or whatever. I like Starlight. He's such a good one. And finally, Morningstar. Why did I say Starlight? They need to make a Starlight, just so I'm not wrong. I mean, this is still wrong, but that way it doesn't sound like I messed it up completely. It had been fitted with a core power by the key and possessed enough power to fight the most deadly of wars. However, an incident occurred during its test run with none other than Lee as its test pilot. With the key, she had reversed all the celestial powers coursing through its mechanical body and diverted them to the planet's core faster than anyone could make a move. Lee had planned all this out before taking her place as test pilot. The power that had flowed into the planet's core split the land, and once again the destruction from within overflowed to the surface, scorching every bit of Earth that it touched. The entire world was beginning to split apart in this unprecedented disaster, and the revival of the Great Darkness drew ever nearer. However, its resurrection was not without its obstacles. The Crusadia had created as assistive units 7 Mekk-knights in total. Wait. The Rainbow Mekk-knight is made by all 7 of them together. But the Morningstar created them? That's that's weird. The remaining Mekk-knights faced off against Mekk-knight of the Morningstar and destroyed it. Okay. Sealing away the Great Darkness back within the Earth once more. But the Great Darkness was, at the end of the day, a divine force, one that the mortals failed to seal away completely. Inspired by the key, the team decided to put their powers into physical vessels of their own and left them on the surface as legacies. So, the 7 legacies, but I thought there was more than 7, right? I might be wrong on that one. Alright, now that the land were ruined, it was getting harder and harder to live in such conditions. It seemed that life on this planet would be gradually snuffed out, including humanity. The reason why the Master, the Key, the world hero didn't appear in our time of need is because we humans drained the planet of its power. Ooh. Oh, that's messed up. They essentially killed their only hero because of technology. That's an interesting message. That's actually pretty sick. Though the Crusadia, they began to mobilize to put an end to humanity's so-called glory, as it was the largest obstacle to the revival of the barren lands and the planet's chances at survival. They left the 7 Mekk-knights they had built in their ruined world after they were. I'm not sure that's a completely good sentence either. Programmed with instructions to help rekindle the planet, the Mekk-knights were all installed with data of the Crusadia members they had established a brain link with. If the lands could be healed once more, and the planet could take back the power it once had, then perhaps it could avoid imminent disaster. The Crusadia left all their hope to a faraway future they may not even reach. However, there was one thing they failed to realize. The mastermind behind this incident was Lee, and she had already been taken by the burning lands. When she was found, she was already dead. Interesting. That's cool. And it's, I think it's interesting how basically a lot of people were saying that the Mekk-knights were basically aliens. I think I even thought they were aliens, but then they just like, nah, they're man-made. But only in flesh. Her soul had been released from its physical vessel, and she had transformed into a world legacy, world chalice. Her will and knowledge. Man, so she's like just an old sin from the past. All right. Time for the Crusadia to start. The tremendous power that dwelled within the planet was the very thing that Lee was after. Though thought Aram, suddenly he was struck by a sense of terror. He could feel a great force of malice that threatened the planet, but from where, he could not tell. Perhaps someone, somewhere, was beckoning to the darkness, trying to bring it forth. He had to stop them before another terrible disaster happened. And in that moment, in Aram's mind, the figure of Ningirsu appeared. Oh no, I mean, I know what happens to him, but like, I didn't think he actually just kind of fell into darkness. I thought he just fell into sadness. The figure of his childhood friend, tormented with sadness from the loss of Ib, seeking darkness in his despair at the world. Although slight, he could feel Ningirsu's presence within the malice. It couldn't be. Orm reined his uneasy heart in. He would need help to stop this malice. He asked the elders of each tribe to lend him their strength. Interesting. And they answered his pleas, with a great number of warriors and the tribes united in formidable alliance. They named themselves after the warriors of old that their writings spoke of, and thus the second coming of the Crusadia was born. The Crusadias were taken to a hidden spot by the tribe of the Sacred Trees and activated World Legacy, World Crown. I thought it was bad to start activating these things. Like, Lee wanted to activate them, right? I don't know. I forgot some of the story. Aram and his companions had now obtained power that could help them combat the malice that threatened the world. Oh, no. They were getting stronger every time they activated. That's right. I forgot. I'll be honest, the Link 1 I thought was super sick. I don't know why. It was like my favorite. I think it was because he searched for the other Crusadias. Regulix was fine. Obviously, you didn't really stay on him too much. You usually just went into Uberit or whatever his name was. And Spatha, you just kind of ignored. She was just there. The Crusadia began their advance towards the giant tower at the center of all the malice. The orchestrated Babel, towering in the sky and its metallic magnificence surrounding it, were the Orcus mechanical weapons waiting on standby in silent formation. So these were already here. I thought Ningirsu built these. At the tower's base was Ningirsu, and activating World Legacy World Wand was the only thing on his mind. Now that Orm could see his childhood friend, the swordsman could only think about how much sadder he looked. Orm prayed that he was only overthinking the situation, but he knew that their reality was not a kind one. Ningusu was here because he wanted the power of darkness, and he was at the center of the malice Orym had felt. That was the truth that awaited him at the end of his long search. But no matter how much time had passed, no matter how things had changed, the one thing that remained the same was that Ningusu was still his friend. Dude, Ningusu kind of gives off like Alucard type of vibes with his outfit. I think it's pretty sick. Orym thought about what he could do now that he was here. Not like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I think it's mostly his hair, but he gives off like this super serious, badass vibes type of stuff. He had to stop Ningusu from starting a disaster that could mean the end of their world. The only one who could stop this villainy is me. Orym thought, gathering all his courage. He signaled for his companions to mobilize, and now a new battle was about to begin. Now, the one thing I want to know in the story is when the Orcists met up with Dark Grepher and Armageddon Knight. Sorry. If you played Orcists, you'll probably understand that. That's a stupid joke, but it's just something I thought of. Ningirsu's sorrow. When Ningirsu saw what had happened, a bolt of guilt pierced through his grief. Even his desperation, he never imagined this would happen. His eyes could hardly believe what they were seeing. How did all this happen so fast? He prayed that he was dreaming and that he was going to wake soon. All he wanted was to see his dear sister again. As the scene of another nightmare unfurled around him, he became embroiled in a storm of emotions. I need to save Ib. Even as his mind was numbed with stupor, Ningirsu's body began to move without command. In what looked like an impulsive choice, he struck his childhood friend unconscious, taking both the other man's sword and Ib. Oh yeah, I forgot, he did do that. What good was this world if Ib were not in it? He would do anything, be it good or evil, if it meant that he could see her smile again. That single thought of getting his sister back was all Ningirsu needed to force his weary limbs forward. He had the Mekk-knights' cores from when the 6 knights were defeated, and now he also had the sword he took from Orym. Using the facilities that were still present in the Mekk-knights' headquarters, he analyzed the artifacts with feverish desperation. This world possessed a mystical power similar to that of the world legacies, and if anything had a clue regarding its specifics, it would be the Mekk-knights. They might even have a way to bring Ib back. Although he was unable to glean a way to resurrect Ib, he learned a great deal about a number of facilities from the ancient civilizations. Ningirsu left the Mekk-knight headquarters and set off to each of them with the lifeless body of a sister in tow. Many of the facilities he visited had already ceased to work, and the ones that barely did provided little to no useful information. So, Ningirsu's kind of just gone insane right now. He's dragging a corpse around with cores from Mekk-knights and a sword that I think was it Orym's at first? I don't remember. But the biggest portion of the story is it's been a while he's searching through the Mekk-knight headquarters or the facilities. So the body's got to be rotting by now, especially since he's not like keeping it in like cold temperatures to make sure it doesn't. So that's kind of disturbing. Where's the picture of that card? I want to see like him dragging a rotting corpse of Ib. That'll give more to the story. However, Ningirsu never gave up. There must be a way he could save Ib somehow. With that unwavering belief in his heart, He resumed his grueling journey, and finally, at long last, he discovered an ancient facility that was still in working condition. Ah, Ningirsu sleeves. Nice. Okay, so he finally put in a place. Okay. After countless weary roads walked, Ningirsu had gone through more information than an average man would in his life. No, seriously, he'd been, like, just traveling crazy amounts of distance and learned so much time. If he learned that much within, like, any average man would in his life, that's way too much. He had thoroughly inspected the Mekk-knights' cores and several ancient facilities. With what he had gathered, including files on the key and technologies thought to be long lost, he had finally unlocked the secrets hidden within the planet. And the truth of the world that had been shrouded in mystery, Ningirsu trembled with joy. Isn't this a, what is it, like the dragon cards? Like, this is one of the dragon cards. Are they just trying to, like, show foreshadowing of some sort? He could revive his sister now. With his newfound certainty, Ningirsu set about creating a vessel that could house Ib's soul using the ancient technologies. So this is Orchestra Return. I can't remember the name, but it was Orchestra Return. This is one of the best cards, or my favorites, essentially. Oops, sorry. I'm playing with Bubble Wrap. I'll stop. However, this task was to be the most difficult yet. Yeah, no kidding. It's so weird. He's just got, like, Ib in the thing and then the robot Ib over there. Like, I don't know. Trial after trial resulted in countless failures and their byproducts. And as the days ticked by, he had amassed enough vessels to create his own army. But at last, his efforts paid off. He had finally created a mechanical doll that would work. By synchronizing the doll with the body of his dead sister, he also succeeded in reinitializing the functions of one of the twin swords, vital to his plan. Wait. So he basically recreated one of the twin swords? That's interesting. So much time had been poured into this endeavor, but at least there was something to show for it. A strange sense of elation began to bubble within Ningirsu. His sister had given her life for this world. Now it was time for him to create a new world. For her. Now that Ningirsu had the mechanical doll's power, the second step of the plan to build orchestrated Babel could finally begin. So he did build it. Why did they make it sound like it was there this entire time? That's so stupid. He built it. Don't make it sound like he didn't. When you have the following items. So no more circle things for this time being? Alright, this is most likely going to teach us, hey, this is how to play Crusadia. You're going to want to go second. It's very important. It really is. Alright, Crusadia. So this is essentially what you do. The normal monsters can special summon to Link zones that Crusadia or Link monsters point to. And then they give powers if they're special summoned that way. Your number one is usually going to be Maximus for damage. The Leo, the Tiger one, is for piercing, I believe. I think it did piercing. And Recall or whatever. I don't know. The little witch person is for blowing up. You tribute him or destroy him and pop something. And then the elf chick, she's a graveyard effect that kind of negates stuff. I don't remember. But the Link monsters themselves, they're the ones that point at monsters, and those monsters that they're pointing to can't attack, but they absorb the attack. and they make it equal. That's why kaijus are really good, because you tribute the opponent's stuff and then you put it in front of Equimax or even Regulux, the lion one that points up and down, and you gain the attack of the kaiju. And hopefully they have another monster on the field, because then you can use Maximus to deal extra damage also. It's very... It sounds complicated. It's a very simple deck. Oh yeah, and I forgot about the the dragon. The dragon gets you the card from the graveyard back. Link summon, yeah, I know. Okay, we're gonna use probably Reclusia, right? And then Link summon into Magius, my favorite one. Probably gonna search the dragon, Draco. Oh, really? Next, special summon Leonis. So once you special summon, he searches, yes. Draco. Oh, you're going for Maximus? Oh, okay, sure. Well, yeah. Since this is going second, you want to double the damage. Okay. Regulux. Here's fine. Alright, so Regulux, you can get a Crusadia spell. Yep, here you go. And Revival allows you to attack all your opponent's monsters once. I don't know why they used Maximus. World Legacy Crown would have been better. Activate Crusadia Revival. Okay. Look at that, 500. Oh, I know why. It wants it to do exactly 45. Sure. Okay, so usually after the little tutorial, I kind of skip it. But since we're using Crusadia, I'll go ahead and just use my Crusadia Mekk-knights. Where is it? I haven't played this in a while, so I got a lot of old decks, and I just don't do anything with them. I would use the story one, because I do like using the story ones when it comes to like a really good story, but like this one, especially since it goes on. But this is Crusadia, so I could just do this. We're just gonna pass. I can't really do anything. I can't believe it made me go first. Yes. When it comes to this deck, for sure. Is that all you're gonna do? Oh, that's mean. Maybe I should have waited. I never know when to use Max C, but here we go. Okay, so this is where I'll go into... Well, I don't have any Crusadias. So at this point, it's just Mekk-knights. Let me see. Okay, yeah, I can get both of these on the field. 27? The thing is, that'll be stronger then. Well, actually... I kind of messed up. Every time I do kaijus, I mess up a little bit. Okay. Alright, this is not how it's usually supposed to go. This was just unfortunate. I usually try to get at least one Crusadia. That's why I got tons of Crusadia in this deck, but I think I do. I don't remember. I think I have 3 copies of Maximus, 3 copies of Draco, and 1 of the Elf. Yep, there it is. Oh, I forgot that was... I never used this card. Like, Burial... I thought about using it when I first played the game, played Orcus, but I just didn't want to. So, I don't have a way to pop this, which is unfortunate because that allows them to use their effects in the graveyard. He goes... Search from the deck. Hell no. Yeah. Nothing sucks worse than getting horror negated. Okay, let's see. Once per turn, card is destroyed or leaves the field, you can special summon a Mekk-knight monster from your hand. That's from your hand. I was looking for graveyard. Draw a card. You can banish. Yeah, let's go ahead and discard a Mekk-knight card. Here we go. I shotgunned that too fast. Wait, what's going on? Oh, this is the special summon one. Or send back to hand. Holy hell, I forgot. Okay, there we go. Now I can do something. Thank you. Add to hand. What, Maximus? Maximus is a good one, right? Let's do Draco for the time being. Yeah, we'll do Draco. Grab us. Yep. Chain. We'll grab her since she can special summon herself again. We'll go for power. Yeah, we'll go for power. Just set this. Oh, no, I don't have him. Oh, that's right. I don't have Equimax. Leave it as that. Nope, not yet. Okay, getting graveyard stuff, getting rid of that. Nope, not yet. That's it. Activate. Discard a card. Yep, don't need it. Nope. Hey, another Draco. That's actually pretty cool. No need. Mm, I don't remember why I have Ibn here. I think I just needed a 2. Mm, I think I have an idea of what I want to do, but I'm not sure. That's fine. Yeah, we'll go with this one. Oh, whoa, whoa. Yep, yep, yep. I panicked, I think. I might have panicked. No. Any monster, huh? Thank you for giving me the power I needed. I don't remember what this does. Oh, it's anytime I do it. Okay. Yeah, sure. Oh, snap. Okay. Set another core. That's fine. Uh... That's fine. I was gonna do that anyways. Let's just grab this out of here, because since I only have the one, I want to make sure I grab it. Alright, let's see if this hits. Sweet. Alright, that wasn't as good as I was hoping, but the idea of the deck is pretty clear. And now, the goal. The final scenario to the story of Crusadia versus the Orcust. The Crusadia headed toward where Ningirsu was. However, before they could reach him, they had to get past the countless Orcust weaponry. The Orcus were merciless as they were numerous, and the Crusadia suffered greatly as they tried to fight their way through. In the heat of the battle, Aurum began to feel that within orchestrated Babel, there dwelled a power similar to that of his key. I couldn't think of it. Mechanical vessels used whatever little of the key's power they had inherited and activated orchestrated Babel. From the depths of the tower, a great light was released, and the tower itself seemed to almost fall away with it as the beam stretched into the sky above. No! The activation must be stopped, Aurum thought as he dashed toward the machinery. However, before he could move any further, Ningirsu appeared before him. It was the first time they had seen each other since a tragedy long ago. Their eyes met within the chaos of the battle. Aurum opened his mouth to speak. Why? He asked. Would you want anything to do with the great darkness? Why put our planet under threat like this? Why did you create this spiraling tower and this army of mechanical weapons? Ningirsu had only one simple answer for him. For Ib. It was the only reason he needed. For his sister, he was willing to activate Babel to strike the World Legacy World Wand down from the sky and break the Earth's surface so he could awaken the slumbering World Legacy. World Arc. World Arc is not a very good card, in my opinion. I do not like it. And use its influence over life and death to revive Ib's soul. Then after the Great Darkness he had freed from within the Earth, he was going to use its power to resurrect Ib as a celestial being. Now that he had heard the truth from Ningirsu, Aurum readied his sword and knew that he had to stop this at all cost. Ningirsu didn't budge, and instead swung his lance in return. No one was going to stand in his way, not even Aurum. The swordsman knew that Ningirsu loved Ib more than anyone in the world. But that did not make it right for him to put the entire planet in danger like this. Aurum knew that Ib would not want this even if it meant that she'd lived once more. However, for Ningirsu, there was nothing he wanted more than to see his sister open her eyes again. And if it meant that he had to turn against the entire world, then so be it. Both men had already made their minds up on what they wanted to achieve. Neither wanted to budge, and so they clashed, but neither could gain a decisive advantage. The orchestrated Babel activated, and at last the world wand had been toppled. When it fell to the earth, it gored the land below, and the resulting shockwave reverberated across the entire planet. What a nice story. I love it. You found a new card pack. Yeah, I already got stuff from that pack. Continue the story. I want to get to like the final endings of this. There's going to be like 6, 7 more chapters of this. I love it though. It's so good. Well, if you enjoyed the storytelling or have opinions on the storytelling or anything like that, leave a comment. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. Either one's good. I'm gonna try to upload a little more, hopefully, not guaranteed, but we'll see. I guess it's been extremely hot for the past couple months, and I've lost interest in a lot of things, but I did start another card game, Flesh and Blood. If you're a Flesh and Blood fan, definitely, leave a comment. Who's your favorite hero as of the moment? Uprising is the newest one, I think. I mean, they released a history pack, but the more recent stuff with the new stuff essentially is Uprising. I'm I like Benji. Benji seems like a cool guy, but he's got his issues. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good day, night, evening. Either one's fine.